You want to do an update?
What? I hate doing updates.
Yeah, but YouTube's all about selling corporate products. If you want to get anywhere on that site, you gotta hawk their shit. I mean, the highest paid YouTuber unboxes Disney stuff.
Can't you just do it?
What? No. You have a whole persona, okay? So you need to, claim your place amongst the YouTube unboxers. You're listening to episode 2 of Microbudget, where Marissa and I will be discussing YouTube, or as I like to call it, Nickelodeon for adults. YT is probably the ultimate tool for micro-budget filmmakers to use to get their work seen. All you have to do is upload a video and post it on your Facebook profile, and you've got an audience the size of your average theater screening. Unfortunately, your video will be watched mainly by your friends and family, so the chances that some angel investor will see your vids and want to produce your feature film are slim to none. How do you make that audience grow beyond your family and friends? How can you use YouTube to your advantage? We'll offer some tips and advice and share stories of our own experiences dealing with that crazy site.
Films with a story don't do well on YouTube.
Right, like a fictional narrative, like cinema doesn't do well on YouTube. YouTube resembles television. It's a lot of it is influenced by reality TV. Used to be mainly vlogs, reviews, and people with crazy opinions. It's kind of evolved into a site with a lot of amateur documentaries. A lot of it's really great stuff, and the production values and the effort people put into their videos has definitely increased since we started posting videos. There's a lot of great content on YouTube, but the majority of it is junk.
Our daughter found, through watching Sesame Street videos on YouTube, she was suggested this channel called Baby Big Mouth, and it's just somebody just hands opening up plastic toy eggs with toys inside. And it's got really loud, obnoxious music. The voice is auto-tuned.
Distorted.
Right. Sped up. So just grating.
There are all these dings in it. And it's it's the visual equivalent of Skittles. I mean, it's just complete garbage. And so, I mean, the majority of the content that's on YouTube is independently produced. You have a lot of creative, great artists on there doing amazing work, but you have a lot of unqualified, amateurish, or just weird people making weird videos. A lot of the most successful stuff almost seems to be the most annoying. I was talking to a friend about this one music reviewer, and the guy was like, yeah, I just don't get those videos. It's like he's trying to be annoying. And that's almost like Baby Big Mouth. Mm-hmm. It's like, I don't know, it's like a, hey, look at me kind of thing.
A lot of these videos have all these quick cuts and a lot of fancy editing tricks.
Cheesy effects. YouTube is all just, it's fake as hell. And so if you want to do well on that site, you really have to participate in that culture, which is sort of panders to a lower attention span, maybe a younger audience.
527 the boy.
Hello, YouTube! This is 527 the boy coming at ya with a review of The Hitcher. This movie is scary. Look at his eyes.
YouTube, the site, their number one goal is to drive traffic to their advertisements. So they want their users to post content that will pull in certain markets. And the videos that are the most popular are ones that make the most money, are ones that people watch all the way through. That's how the algorithm measures a video's quality. They used to go on hits. That doesn't really play into the algorithm as much as it used to. Now it's about watch time, how long someone sits through the video. And so if people are watching them all the way through, then those videos will be then suggested to other users, and they'll get caught up in the algorithm, and your video will get a lot of hits and your channel will get popular. So the most important thing to think about is making quality videos. Just make something that is good and not something that you think is going to pull in hits. We had a friend who, after Corey Haim died, this guy he was bragging about this video that he posted where he called it something like Corey Haim is dead, and then the video was just him giving the camera the middle finger with a Freddy glove. It's just the most witless, bottom of the barrel clickbait type shit you've ever seen. There was a guy who would post videos called like Charlie Sheen was in a car accident, and it would be like music that he and his band made. Like, there's just, I have nothing to do with that. And it was just shameless. And I would always think, like, do you really want these viewers, like people that are searching for these videos?
They're going to be mad.
Or that just won't. Yeah, it's like either. I think the Freddy Glove guy, he had some kind of like insecurity. He wanted people to be mad and he wanted to trick people. The Charlie Sheen in a car accident guy wanted to build his audience.
Right, wanted to be discovered. Like someone accidentally starts watching the band and they're like, hey, they're good.
Right, it's absurd. And that's why like sub for sub, that stuff, that doesn't work. I mean, if you're just trying to collect subs and hits on your video, then if you get a ton of subs and they're all people who aren't watching your videos, then those are people who are scrolling past your videos in their feed, and then YouTube, their algorithm will think that no one likes your videos, so they'll stop promoting your channel to other users. So it's like, you shouldn't be concerned with, this like viral success. That kind of stuff can actually hurt you. We had a friend who, he had some music video that Perez Hilton linked on his site when that site was really big. Popular. Mm-hmm. And I remember this guy was like bragging, oh, my video got like 250,000 hits, and where
right, nothing ever happened with that.
Right. I mean, like, you're not gonna like get big off one video anyway. If you have a successful video, great. That means that, you're building an audience, and now you have to post a video just about every day in order to make a buck. Because, like, one video isn't going to provide you with anything, especially not any kind of future in filmmaking, because there are no producers who are like, hey, let's get the guy who made that viral video to direct Thor 4. You know what I mean? That just doesn't happen. A director like Ben Wheatley, for example, the director of Kill List and High Rise, he has his roots in viral videos, but he actively pursued a career in feature filmmaking. He didn't just try to play the YouTube game. He didn't wait for somebody to discover him.
Hey guys, what's going on? This is the DVD Lamer. I'm here with another awesome update, but I do not want to waste your time, so let's get to it because I'm going to be talking for like 12 minutes.
We started posting vlogs and reviews because we wanted to show people that we weren't our characters. People were kind of seeing me as like the crazy character that I play. And like the reality and fantasy was starting to get confused in some of our viewers' minds. So we started just making videos about topics that we thought were interesting. And some of those videos have had legs. They have, tallied up a lot of hits. And
people have found us, found RSStB through watching a certain vlog and then started, watching RSStB. So that was another reason why we started doing the vlogs.
Right, they're advertisements. So it's like, and those videos are searchable. No one's searching for the title of your short film. Like, if your movie is called like Charlie Goes to Hollywood, nobody's searching that. No, I mean, so it's like if you post a video about Daniel Klaus, a lot of people are searching that, and there aren't that many people making videos about Daniel Klaus, so your video will show up early on in the search results. and and that's how a lot of these reviewers and vloggers have earned their audiences, is through their searchable tags. I've been figuring out who gets the most hits. People with searchable tags, searchable names.
You like searchable tags?
One of the best ways to work the algorithm is to just be involved in the YouTube community by watching other people's videos, commenting on them. They watch yours and comment on yours, and just having an active role in the community that's genuine and real, not like that sub for sub thing that we were talking about.
Right. Leave comments that show that you watched the video. Leave thoughtful comments, because then the people who are viewing that video will see your comment and potentially click your channel and then sub you. So it's like you want to stay involved. Like that's how we really. There were a few years where we spent a lot of time watching people's videos and being really involved in the YouTube community, and that's how we built our fan base. And it's like a full-time job.
It's a lot of work, a lot of time to maintain those relationships.
The most successful YouTubers spend 80 hours a week on their YouTube channel.
Commenting back to everybody.
Right. And only a fraction of that time is spent actually making videos.
I'm worried about how we're going to pay this month's bills. We don't have enough. That's what's keeping me up at night.
Don't worry about it, okay? I got it under control.
I understand what you're talking about, but we need an immediate solution. We need to be bringing in more money now, so you need to get a job.
I have a fucking job. I work for Google. You know how many hours I worked this week? 80. Half of it was just keeping up with comments, okay? I have to engage with my audience. I have to make them watch a 10-second video for Stouffer's or some kind of mind-numbing product in order to watch my video. Do you know how much money I get off that? Cents.
One of the benefits of YouTube is that your audience feels more connected with you than they would with someone that they're watching on television. You're more accessible.
Right, they can message you, you can message them back, they can form a friendship with you.
Right. So that you can then potentially create a very loyal fan base.
The quality of your fan base is probably a lot more important than the number of subs you have.
Right. If you have a loyal following, then, those people will support you and bring you more success than a bunch of people who might have subbed you because, you uploaded a music video or something. There are a lot of channels that just upload trailers, movie trailers. So they have a ton of subs, but are those viewers really interested in the people who are maintaining that channel? Not really. They're just interested in the movie trailers. So if those people, whoever's running that channel, if they went and tried to start something new, they wouldn't be able to pull any of their followers over to their new project. It's like the people who are listening to this podcast are people that we met through either Ricky Shore Sings the Blues or through the horror movies we've made.
There's this old guy in Hollywood that we know. He thinks he's some big hotshot producer. His whole claim to fame is he wrote an episode of Welcome Back, Kotter in like 1974. I don't know. So I gave him the link to RSStB and he watched some. He
watched one, I think.
Right, one.
That's the only one he mentioned.
Right,
so that told me that he only watched one.
Exactly, and I didn't suggest a certain number, certain which ones he should watch. But at
that point, we had about 500 of them.
Right, so he picked one, and when we met with him, he sat us down and he was going to show us something about YouTube.
He's going to show us what works.
Right, this is what works on YouTube. And he pulls up a video with Chelsea Handler.
It was sponsored by Tide. It had a Tide logo at the beginning,
right,
like in the video.
It was Suave, too. And Chelsea Handler was in
right,
it.
And I think like Leah Remini.
Right.
We were like, okay, so this is a produced web series that's like one of the very early professionally produced web series on YouTube. And this is what you're comparing our stuff to? It's just kind of like, it's like kind of like having Clerks and bringing it to, the film, Kevin Smith's 1994 film, and bringing it to a producer. And they're like, well, let me show you what works in film. And then they show you The Hangover or something. It's
right.
like,
we don't have
these are
the
different.
budget to hire A-list actors.
Right. And we don't have corporate sponsors that can like somehow promote our material.
Right, and we don't have all the resources that they had. Who knows what the budget was for that
one
video.
Single 5-minute episode. And it had, of course, a lot of crazy editing and like
and he made
whistles
us watch
and bells.
All of it.
Yeah, we had to sit there and grind our teeth through the entire thing. But it's like
his advice to us was that 3 in comedy is funny.
Yeah, there's a certain rule of 3 that you had to somehow, I don't know, whatever. It's kind of like in Crimes and Misdemeanors when Alan Alda's character is trying to get to the philosophy behind comedy. He's like, if it bends, it's funny. If it breaks, it isn't funny. If it, I don't know, whatever.
We asked Andrew Gilliland, someone who we met through YouTube 10 years ago, a couple of questions about YouTube.
Andrew's had a lot of channels over the years. Right now, I think he currently resides at youtube.com/Andrew Gilliland. And he's a funny guy. He was in Pain Shack. So here's what he had to say.
How do you think YouTube has changed since you started posting videos?
I started posting on YouTube in 2006. I got out of basic training around March. I got out of tech school around March. And I realized there's this thing called YouTube. I realized I could start making my own videos because I was watching all these, really low budget videos. And in the 10 years since, I've noticed obviously production value has gone up on YouTube. A lot more people take their times with what they're making. You have a lot more professionals on YouTube. I mean, you still can find people doing stuff, but I noticed a lot more of the indie people, like the people like me with no money. They would do video game playthroughs. I see a lot of video game playthrough shit now. Even people who are doing creative videos, they have another channel for their Let's Play or whatever. And for whatever reason, people like to watch people play video games, which is something I always hated when I was a kid. I can't watch that shit.
What did you expect to get out of YouTube?
Like I said, we were making videos. We were already making content, and we just had no platform. I'd plug my camera into my friends' TVs and stuff, and we'd watch our videos, and people would laugh. And so I realized I could edit the content, and I could make little movies, and I could put them online. And as somebody who always wanted to be a filmmaker, it allowed me to have an audience outside of being stuck on public access TV. Somebody like me with no money or no wish to be in Hollywood. I would hate Hollywood. So a lot of people, they make videos and they expect millions of hits. I am the kind of person who makes a video and if 40 of my friends watch it, I get excited. That makes me happy. Some of my videos I've gotten 20,000 hits, and that's a really big deal to me. I definitely would be considered a nobody, but I've been on there for 10 years, so I guess what I expect out of YouTube is just to have that format to entertain.
Do you feel like you've been successful?
I'm very successful. I've been in a couple movies now. I've been doing some voice acting, and I never would have had that opportunity because, like I already said, I refused to go to Hollywood, so YouTube has kind of been my only way to get my shit out to people. And I've made a lot of friends through YouTube. I've met a lot of filmmakers and a lot of people going through the struggles of no budget filmmaking. So it's been a cool experience. I've been really successful in that aspect. Now, as far as lucrative goes, I've been couch surfing and sleeping in family members' guest rooms for a while now. But
Give a shout out to one of your favorite YouTube channels.
M.Strange. He's been making animated movies and live action films for decades now. I also have great admiration for Sonny Fernandez, who he did about almost 10 live action films up in North Dakota. He started doing animation much like M.Strange moved on to doing after the live action stuff. And he's another hardworking man, and he has a lot of really cool content on his YouTube. He's very friendly.
Hey guys, you might know this, but I broke 1,000 subscribers when I was in Florida. It was awesome.
Great, who
So
gives a
excited.
shit? You post videos about Super Mario and Zelda. 1 million people search those, so of course you're gonna get a bunch of subscribers. Doesn't mean you're doing anything right.
What are you guys talking about? They love me. I've got more subscribers than anybody in this room.
YT users are generally pretty sub-crazy. They're all concerned with numbers and how many subscribers and hits they have on their videos. A lot of the most popular YouTubers somehow manipulated the YouTube algorithm early on, and that's how they were able to gain so much popularity. Like people like Shay Carl and Shane Dawson. It used to be that if a video got a certain amount of hits, it would appear on the start page, on YouTube's start page. So, some of these guys would use bots, or they would hit their videos so much that they would, appear early on in search results or on the start page.
They would have fake accounts and use those accounts to watch the videos and give them more hits.
Right.
They just sit around doing that all day.
Right. We knew people on Funny or Die and stuff who would do that. Like
that was their life.
Right. But these sites kind of ironed things out, and you can't really manipulate them as easily. We were never into that.
No, we were interested in finding people who would be interested in what we were doing, and we knew we needed to advertise ourselves somehow, get the word out.
Right. I mean, we asked people to subscribe. We'll put little, titles in our videos asking, please subscribe. It was kind of like the culture. You kind of have to do it.
And there are people who think when they go to a page and they see how many subscribers it has, that makes a certain impression on them.
Right.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because it's not like, businesses are forced to, hang a sign outside their shop saying how much money they made that day. But I mean, that's how YouTube works. I saw Adult Swim has these little, they'll do these titles and they'll say something goofy. And there was something like, they were quoting someone on Twitter who tweeted to them something like, why don't you guys have more followers? And they said back, because we didn't buy any. A lot of YouTubers have just bought subs. That's like that Psy Gangnam style.
Mm-hmm.
But and sometimes it works, fake it till you make it. But if you're just trying to make films, you're trying to, earn an following.
Audience.
Yeah, exactly. And we never, bloated the hits on our own videos because we wanted to see how many people were watching them. We were genuinely interested in knowing that real number rather than trying to make it appear as if we were more successful than we actually were.
Also, we didn't want someone to have false pretenses and then look at our work and then hate it because they're not the type of person that would have been interested in it.
Right,
in the first
it's just
place.
fake. And also, I mean, a lot of the time, it's like people who I know a lot of YouTubers who would create fake accounts and leave comments on their own videos as if to make it look like they had this, giant audience. And if you click on those profiles, they're so clearly sock accounts that it just discredits the channel.
Right, and you would also see a video that would have a ton of hits, but then only 3 comments, and you always knew that was suspect.
A while ago, YouTube opened up monetization to any user. Before that, you had to be chosen by YouTube, selected to be a partner. But they opened it up to anyone through Google Adsense. So it's basically an agreement that you enter with Google to let them run ads on your videos. So in order to make any money, you have to make your audience sit through long, boring advertisements for products. So how do you make this money from AdSense? I mean, you have to shamelessly promote your videos. There are these guys who make, they do unboxing videos, basically. They just go shopping and show what they bought, or they make videos of themselves at Walmart buying DVDs. And they firebomb Facebook groups with photos from these videos, and with a link to go check out the video. And it's just mind-numbing. And I don't know, I guess it works because these people seem to be making enough money to be buying constant DVDs. Everyone seems to the most popular YouTubers have a gimmick, or they fit into some kind of micro niche. There are the unboxers. There are people who speak about autism. There are, single dads. There are
Kids who play with toys.
When Google bought YouTube, they, launched Google Plus and integrated the two sites so that it was harder to comment anonymously. You had to be linked to your Google Plus profile. You could still see silly screen names and stuff, but the random trolling
Cut down on that.
It cut down on that a little bit. YouTube is sort of notorious for having the worst trolls. And people who are just obnoxious.
We've experienced that.
Yeah, I mean,
like everybody.
There's a popular YouTube user, Zach King, and he is another guy who manipulated a loophole early on in his career. He was able to upload short videos to Vine, I think, before videos were allowed on the site. Somehow he did it, and they went viral, and he became a very successful YouTuber. There's another YT channel that sort of debunks myths, and this channel did. It's very slickly produced, and it's hosted by kind of a kooky guy, and they did an episode about Zach King, and they were explaining, the tricks behind Zach's filmmaking, like that most of the videos are made with jump cuts, and it's interesting because the guy was saying that Zach has good comic timing and good ideas, and that he just he relies on filmmaking tricks that are very old, and but he puts a fresh spin on it. And there was a comment, something like if you spent less time bitching about Zach and more time posting videos, you'd probably be as popular as he is. And the guy writes back, the YouTube user, he was like, all claims of bitching aside, I do post like a video like as often as he does. But I don't know, you'll hear from the craziest idiots. So you kind of got to just block that out. Just it's noise.
Right, and just know that that's part of it, that happens to everybody. There are people that just, troll.
Yeah, I wanted to be really hot. Yeah. Actually, I don't know how to spell my name. Is that going to be a problem?
The metadata you provide is very important for how YouTube looks at your video. You should have searchable tags. Let's say you're posting a review of Everybody Wants Some. In your tags, you should have Dazed and Confused and Richard Linkletter and film, indie, independent. As many words as you can think of that would sort of, lead back to your video. When you're making a short film, that becomes difficult because your short is sort of just this fictional world that you've created. You might not want to put similar directors or directors you're influenced by in the tags, because that could, lead people on. Someone who's searching for Jim Jarmusch doesn't necessarily want to watch your film, but you could put in the genres that it fits into, and it's like we put, absurdist, comedy, sketch, bizarro. We load up our episodes of RSStB with a lot of searchable tags.
If you want to make money on YouTube, you have to treat it like a job. You have to put in 80 hours a week working on it, commenting back to people, having regular content. YouTube has its pluses, its minuses.
It's Google pluses.
And on that note, thank you for listening to the second episode of our podcast.
Yep. See you next week.
I have to be honest with you. The real reason that I asked you to wear all this gaudy stuff is because I want to shoot a music video tonight for my new hit song. I wrote a hit song. It's going to be all over America.
You made a song?
In clubs, yeah.
What's it called?
It's called Cocaine in the Brain.